Here's my first RV that I got. We've replaced it with the fifth wheel, so we'll be selling this one. But as you can see up there at the top, I have a camera up there, and I 3D printed that mount, that part that I showed you earlier. You can see that I've got a bracket up there that mounts the camera. And the way I mounted that was I took, here's one of the brackets, I took the marker light and I take that marker light off. Then this piece fits in between the light and the RV, and I put silicone on the back of it. I used some longer screws, feed the wires through here, and then the power wire from the RF camera feeds through this hole and comes down and goes in, and you hook into the power the 12 volts that powers this light. So I always have my lights on when I'm running with the RV, so I always have power to these cameras. Now we'll go up here to the front where we actually have one mounted, and you can see how it's mounted here. There's the antenna, the mount. You can adjust it up and down and so forth, but there's still the marker light's still there. It's just that it's extended out farther because I've inserted this mounting bracket in between it and the RV. So there I'm adding my RF cameras and getting power to them without having to drill any holes in my RV or do any special wiring or anything. And these cameras will look right down the side when you're turning and give you a clear view here. And then on the other side, we've got one over here looking down this side. So you have two side cameras, and then you have the rear view camera, and all thanks to being able to 3D print these parts, so I have a way to mount them without drilling holes in the RV. Even though I have on a short sleeve shirt, it's about 60 degrees, or actually it's about 55 degrees, I believe, outside right now. But back here, it's a nice, cozy little 83 degrees, according to that gauge, and 82.3 on this one. So about 83 degrees back here in the print room. And we're transitioning now from winter to spring to summer. In the winter time, we relied on these printers to keep it warm down here. Now it's getting to the point to where even though it's 50 degrees outside or 55 or whatever, it still warms up pretty fast in here just with these printers running. And we're not running very many of them. Different times we'll have different printers running. Back when I first got the thing set up here, we had 24 printers on this wall, these A-nets. And then we added more, and we got up to, let's say, I think we got up to 60 or 62 printers that were capable of running jobs. We never ran all of them at one time. It would have been a little difficult to have that many printers running. Our power could probably handle it, but it would be pushing the limits of our dedicated breaker panel over there in the corner. So the most I'd say we've ever had running at one time would probably be about 35 printers in this room. So on an average, we probably average running about 15, which is about 1/3 of our capability. Because right now I have about 45 approximately 45 printers in here that are ready to go, that are operational, that do run jobs when their time comes. And there's probably another 15 or so printers in here that are either not set up to run because we don't need them, or they have a problem and need some type of repair. An example is down there on the floor. We have an A-net down here that needs new wires to the hotbed. And since a lot of my older videos, what I would do, I would share problems that I had and solutions when they came up. And that's a good one right there. I had a printer, one of the A-nets, that's actually the ET4 up here. These are the ET4Xs. And that printer, when I would go to run it, I would power up and go to preheat. Well, most of the printers preheat pretty fast. The beds are a little bit slow. The beds are a little slow to heat up, but on that particular printer I noticed it was taking an unusually long time for the bed temperature to get up to the 60 degrees centigrade or whatever I had it set at. So I started checking, and I found out that the wires from flexing and everything going to the bed, some strands had broken and the wires were getting hot, preheating that bed and heating it during operation. And I was also, I believe, having some problems with the bed temperature, being able to maintain that bed temperature. So what it turned out to be were those wires. So I guess the moral of the story is, if you have a printer and you notice that it's taking longer and longer for the bed to preheat, there's a good chance that your wires, and they flex all the time because the wires going to your bed have to continuously flex. So that flexing can break some strands in there, and the fewer strands you have, the more strain it is on the wire to carry that current. So you're going to build up more heat and resistance in that wire, and it's going to take longer and longer to heat that bed up. Eventually they can actually just burn in two, and then the bed's out completely. But that's one thing to look for if you encounter that situation. Well, here we are with my latest little toy. Got this little mini excavator here. We've done one little digging job with it so far, but as you can see, it's very compact compared to the one I used to have. If you watch some of the older videos, you probably saw me with the larger excavator that I had, and I sold it. So bought this little one because I always think it's nice to have something around that you can do a little digging with if you need to. And it also has this hydraulic thumb on it, so I can grab trees and tree trunks and stumps and things like that and move them around. So we had a little problem with it. I was doing some work and this arm right here came loose. So I'm going to have to fix that. It wasn't a very good, well, the thing's made in China, but it wasn't a very good design. So we're going to do something to fix that. I think I'm going to be able to 3D print a part in ABS or PETG that'll be strong enough to secure that and reinforce it and take care of that. And we'll do the same thing to the other side to keep it from failing later on down the road. But anyway, just thought I'd show you this little machine here. Just one of the toys that I'm going to be playing with around here. See, this place is still junky. We're trying to clean it up. By the way, I did a little video on this scooter. There's my new scooter that I was going to take with us on some RV trips and so forth. So until the next time, happy printing.